But it makes sense to a person who is racist that the only way they can recenter themselves is to play victim.
What's good, people, and welcome on another episode. How are you all doing? I hope you guys are doing great. And if you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for being here today. There is this creator that made a video talking about how it's just so surprising how some white people will complain about them being called racist, but then go ahead and do some certain things like this on social media. And he went on to give some example of some of the things that these white people will constantly do on the internet and still be so surprised or so confused as to why they are labeled as racist. And this sparked a conversation, and without wasting much time, let me just roll the clip of the video that started this entire conversation before we start going into what the people have to say about this video, because there are some people agreeing to what he said, and there are some people saying as well that he's reaching that if a black person is allowed to be this, a white person is allowed to be this as well. I'm sure you guys are going to get the entire context by the time I start rolling the clip. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into it.
White people on the internet always seem to be confused as to why they're being accused of racism, and an example of this that I see every single day on this app is some random person of color will make a TikTok and like hashtag black girl magic or something along those lines, and every single time, without hesitation, some white person will be in the comments being like, well, what about white people? How come I can't say white girl magic? You'd call me racist then. And this presents what sociologists like to call a double bind. The double bind here is that when people of color talk about their oppression as it relates to white people, they're told to shut up about it, or that it's not white people, it's their own cultural mishaps or whatever. But then when people of color talk about their own personal empowerment within their group, then white people always want to interject and be like, well, what about white people? So we force people of color into these safe spaces, and then we sit there and complain and accuse them of racism when they participate in their own safe spaces? Make this make sense.
What do you guys think about what he said? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I think an example of what this man is trying to talk about is during the black girl follow trend, you guys, it became a whole drama. Like, not even a very like light one, a whole solid drama, because there's so many, this palm colored people literally pissed, especially the women pissed at the fact that black people were doing a trend to help each other, gain more followers on TikTok or get more visibility on TikTok. And you guys already know how it is. It's not like maybe they even pushed black people's content like that. It was only done just so that they are able to, get more followers, get more seen. But these people literally took a piece about it. Like I said, there are people pissed about what he said, and there are people literally doubling down on what he said as well and agreeing to what he said. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into it.
And accuse them of racism when they participate in their own safe spaces?
Please check out that creator's entire video. It's really good, and he's basically asking, how does it make sense that when people of color celebrate and empower each other in the safe spaces that we've had to create for ourselves due to the racism that we experience, we get accused of being racist? And I think it's important to keep in mind that when people of color are marginalized through racism, it's not expected that we create our own safe spaces in which we celebrate and empower one another, because racism is narcissistic abuse. For people who are racist, what they want and what they believe is that when they close the door in our face, we press our noses to the glass and we look in, because they want us to feel excluded and less than and envious. So they tend to get upset when they find out that not only are we not looking at them, not only are they not centered, but we have a bigger and better party going on outside, or we've taken our party to somebody else's house. That's when they say, why are you excluding me? Why are you creating division? And why are you being racist? And most of the time they don't even want to be included, because a lot of us are more than happy to include anybody who is not harmful. But it makes sense to a person who is racist that the only way they can recenter themselves is to play victim, because when you're used to being centered, equality feels like oppression.
Complain and accuse them of racism?
His video is a great video. Make sure you watch the whole thing. But I've seen a lot of stitches on this and great explanations, but everyone seems to be leaving out the most simple answer. The reason why this doesn't make sense is because the overwhelming majority of white people have no idea what racism actually is. And the answer to that is also equally as simple. They've never had to experience it. That's it.
Well, what about white people?
please go and watch the original TikTok because it's really good. But honestly, for real, we as white people have spent the last however many hundreds of years not inviting BIPOC people to our parties. And now we're so pissed off because instead of them being like, why can't I come to your party? They've just gone and made their own parties. Their parties have better music and better food and better conversation. And white people are like, why am I not invited to the party? And it's like, you would be if you knew how to behave.
Being accused of racism, and
You know what? I got you. I'm going to take it a step further. All right. When did Black Girl Magic or Black Pride in general involve hanging, killing, and oppressing white people? Never. Never. But you can't say the same about white pride. There's plenty of people with white pride who have oppressed, killed black people and other races. So that's the difference between me being having pride about being black, and you having pride about being white. That's the difference. That is the difference. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your race. People do it all the time, but for some reason, white folks feel the need to kill and oppress others when they get to feeling proud about their race. Okay? You cut that part out, I don't think anybody would have a fucking problem with you being proud of being white. Go ahead. If you proud of being the same color as male, nobody cares. Nobody cares. I promise you. Nobody cares. There's way too much shit to deal with in the world for us to give a fuck. That's why. That's why. Like that's really why there's a big difference in hashtag Black Girl Magic versus hashtag White Girl Magic. When white people stop oppressing motherfuckers, maybe it'll become cool. But until then, look, white folks, you want to be able to be like white pride and not say racist, not feel racist and be accused of being racist. Tell the actual racist motherfuckers to shut the fuck up when they're spewing that racist shit and associating it with white pride. Yo, be like, hey, yo, relax. You're racist. White pride and racism are two different things. You gotta separate it. You got to. You gotta figure out a way to separate it. And if you don't, well, racism will always be associated with white pride because up until now, that's what it's been. Sorry, there's no other way to slice that. Sorry, white folks. You gotta put in the leg power on this one. Everybody else, we already got our own shit to deal with.
I feel like the issue is when black people come together and they want to do something and they really come together, it's always loud, it's always bold. You can tell that there's power in the unity. And I feel like the unity of these people coming together scares them because you are no longer the center of attention at that point because they always want to be the one at the center of it all. They always want to be the one at the top and every other one fall below. So when other people are getting that attention that they think they should be getting, it becomes a problem because there's no reason why grown white women were literally crying during the Black Girl Follow trend. Like there were some literally in tears. Why can't be all women follow trend? Why can't be this and that? Like why are you trying to divide the community? Why are you trying to divide the women community? Like these are just literally black people trying to help each other. Like if you type anything, you will see that the creators that is going to be suggested to you at first are going to be palm colored people, and these people are just doing it to bring each other out, to give each other more visibility. So what is the point of all of that? Just them cry and just be sad because they are not included and the thing is literally blowing up, is going viral. Because the Black Girl Follow trend went freaking viral and it was like the talk of the media for a few days or even like weeks. So let me know what you guys think about what this guy said. Let me know what you think about the point he made. And to the lady who said equality feels like oppression to them, I totally agree because they don't understand what equality is. They don't want to be equal with any other person. They want to be at the top, then other people fall below. So let me hear your thoughts about the take from the Stitches, and I am going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye, and I love you guys.